Back to Canberra now, and joining us live is Labor MP Julian Hill and Liberal MP Keith Wallahan. It is our backbench battle. They are friends, but they are foes, damn it, for the next 5 minutes. Julian, good morning to you first. The opposition had claimed the tax cut change was done with Dunkley in mind. It passed through the Senate with 3 days to spare. Is that enough to get you over the line?
Well, it is good news for every Australian taxpayer. Labor's cost of living tax cuts passed the Senate last night. Every Australian taxpayer, including every taxpayer in Dunkley, if you want to link it to Dunkley, will get a tax cut. That means in Dunkley, 87% of people will be better off under Labor than under the Liberals' proposals. All 73,000 taxpayers will get a tax cut. I mean, the distinction is very clear. The government, Labor, wants people to earn more, wages are moving, and keep more of what they earn. Peter Dutton and the Liberals want people to work longer for less. Now, the opposition has been all over the shop. They don't support Labor's tax cuts. They said they were going to roll them back.
Well, they did.
Member after member saying they were going to roll them back.
They did last night.
Then this morning, actually, this morning, they tried to delay it through the Parliament, moving silly amendments. I'm speaking every which way. But this morning they said they're now going back to the drawing board. I mean, back to the drawing board. What does that mean? They're out there with the chalk. Does Keith get a go on the drawing board? They don't support Labor's tax cuts, and the distinction is clear. But we've got them through the Parliament, despite the games from the Liberals and the Greens.
Your turn, Keith. It was a broken promise, but you did have to support it, and you did support it in the end. How do you think that plays into this weekend?
Well, we did support it, but the way it happened matters, and promises matter. And I think the people of Dunkley and Australia have seen that the Prime Minister broke a promise. Of course, people deserve more, and they deserve these tax cuts. That's why we supported it. All of us did. But when you give with one hand on an average income $800 tax cut, but inflation on the other hand is taking $8,000 of real income away from an average wage, people know that that 10-to-1 ratio matters. And so this government needs to do a lot more on inflation when food prices are going up. And we saw in your program that in February, food prices are expected to grow again. So we can't just do this continuous giving with one hand and taking with the other. A lot more work needs to be done on inflation, and that should matter come Dunkley. And let's not forget, all of this was driven by Dunkley. You're right, we're a few days out from the by-election, and the Treasurer himself said that this was the reason they did the timing.
And just back on inflation, it's expected to rise. According to our business reporter, Ed Boyd, a short time ago, it's expected to bump up slightly today. But Julian, on Dunkley, the PM has been claiming anything less than 7% swing is acceptable. Is that laying the groundwork for an excuse in case things don't go well?
Oh, look, I've seen a lot of the media commentary over the last couple of days, and
that was his claim,
by-elections are tough for governments. By-elections are tough for governments. That's the core point which is being made, and it's a sensible point. I've been down to Dunkley last week. Jody Ballier is a terrific candidate. And there's a choice. I mean, the choice that people will make on Saturday is clear. Do they want a strong local voice in the government, like Peter Murphy, who can walk into the Prime Minister's office, walk into ministers' offices and get stuff done? Or do they want another one of Peter Dutton's professional whingers, screaming, shouting, howling at the moon, full of negativity? I mean, that's actually the choice. Do they want to continue Peter's legacy of having a voice in the government, or one of these negative Nellies who'll run a mile from Peter Dutton, won't want to be photographed with him with the fake smile plastered on to cover up all the nasty stuff? That's the choice which people will make. Do they want someone who can deliver for Dunkley? And Jody is a terrific person. I was with her on pre-poll, 38-degree heat last Thursday, getting a very warm reception. But by-elections are tough. That's the core point which is being made.
Going to be even hotter today. Keith, if the Liberal Party is to be resurrected, is Dunkley a Middle Australia seat that you must win ahead of the next election?
The Prime Minister has engaged in a lot of expectation management. He's thrown out that figure of 7.1%. Yet before Fadden, he was saying 4% was the number. We know that when you look back to World War II, the average swing against the government is 3.6, and it's 1.5 for a first-term government. So I think the Prime Minister is very worried about what the people of Dunkley will tell him and what his party and backbench will actually think of that. And
but do you need to win it?
Conversations next week.
Regardless of swings, do you need to win it if the Liberal Party is to be resurrected?
Well, that's a choice for the people of Dunkley, but we have an amazing candidate in Nathan Conroy, a three-time mayor, someone who is an advocate and a fighter. And Julian talked about professional whingers. I didn't want to criticise their opponent, but he's criticised ours. Their candidate
I criticised the whole lot of you.
Went on LinkedIn and accused all Australians, and including the people of Dunkley, of engaging in privilege for their vote on the voice. Now, that's not the sort of person who's fighting for dining table issues that matter to the people of Dunkley. They need an advocate and a fighter, and Nathan is one of them.
Can I just make one point on the numbers?
Just quickly, because we've got to wrap up, Julian.
So I was deeply interested in the report that Peter Dutton made a comment to the party room yesterday that the Prime Minister's no good with numbers. Well, I dispute that. I've known him for 27 years. I back his ability.
Well, he got a big number wrong ahead of the last election.
If Peter Dutton was any good with numbers, he would have beat Scott Morrison for the Liberal Party leadership. Instead, they've got the worst possible outcome that they tried to avoid.
They only care about leadership
stuck with
numbers.
Peter Dutton as their leader.
It's all about leadership
I mean, that's the reality for them.
Party room numbers are not dining table numbers.
Gentlemen, we're going to have to go. Julian, Keith, appreciate it, though. Thank you so much.